Hello everyone. For today's presentation, my group and I will be talking about negative effects social media has on teenage genders. Our claim for today's presentation is how different genders have been affected by social media and the different pressures they face in following certain standards and behaviors. The beauty standards have left teens to feel worthless. The visual shown shows the ideal standards that must be met among teens. It all comes down to their physical appearance, body weight, face, and height. Many teens want to look like the next Kylie Jenner and the next Drake. Words from Anne Hathaway herself. My dad made a pie. I ate only a little. I smoked my nerves away. I was not nourishing myself. Another example is well-known Demi Lovato. Words herself, and I quote, I do not always feel positive in my body, but I'm healthy, and I accept the way my body is without changing it. These are just a few of those well-known celebrities that us teens know about. They also struggle with the pressure to put on a brave face in front of everyone and set those standards that every teen wants to meet. Today, they have become advocates for every one of us, making sure that we know that we do not need to change our body for anyone. Each and every one of our bodies are different and unique. Moving forward, the graph that I have provided in the presentation shows that Instagram has been the most net negative for the negative impact in teenagers. According to The Guardian, they have surveyed many teenagers that experience this. One of them is a girl named Maddie McGowan, and she is 15. She states, there's always an unspoken feeling that you have to be better than someone else. It creates a negative environment. It allows you to create this image of yourself that is not actually true. I think that Instagram is the worst. You can buy followers, buy likes, and change your pictures in any form that you want. In the end, this creates bad mental health for any teenager because they create this fake image of themselves online. They could be going through depression or something at home, and no one would ever suspect a thing because they have created this perfect image of themselves online on social media, and they look so perfect on paper. No one would ever think twice to question their mental health and how they're actually feeling.
Today, more than 3.5 billion people use social media. The beginning of this massive growth of social media was MySpace, which is the first ever social media to be created. MySpace was created in 2003. A year later, in 2004, it had over 1 million active users. This is also the year when Facebook, currently the most popular social media, was created. However, Facebook grew at a lot faster rate than MySpace as shown in the graph. Just after 4 years, Facebook had 100 million active users. In 2010, Facebook became the social media with the most monthly active users, surpassing YouTube with 500 million. And today it is still the most popular social media. Instagram, which is one of the most popular social media among teens, has also grown popular over the years. As social media is becoming more and more popular, it is having more impacts on teens. For instance, the standards of beauty on social media have negative effects on teens. As shown in the picture on the left, in the early 1900s, sculptures and artworks portrayed curvaceous and thick-set silhouettes. However, starting in the 1920s, slender women's bodies began to appear in the magazines. The 1920s was in fact one of the two periods in the history where the ideal body type of women was the thinnest. That was the typical body type for women throughout the 1900s. However, going into the 21st century, the society became more accepting towards diverse body types. However, the teens are still pressured to meet the standards of beauty. They're trying to adjust themselves to the standards that are set for them by changing their appearance using Photoshop. But the teens shouldn't have to follow these standards or behaviors and portray their best selves on social media. They should be able to express their own true selves freely.
With social media usage drastically increasing around the world, People from all different cultures are using different sites that have similar structures to allow people to communicate and post online. On popular sites like Instagram, people tend to view who's popular, and this can affect their idea of beauty. Journalists from BuzzFeed even conducted a survey that claimed that internationally, white celebrities from America were the most cited out of any country when discussing foreign influence on the male beauty ideal. This demonstrates the powerful effects celebrities and influencers have over how people perceive themselves and how they embrace their own cultural beauty. With the lack of diversity amongst social media, it causes pressure to fit into a certain stereotype. Currently, the majority of users are minorities, so with the lack of cultural diversity seen on social media, this can negatively impact how people view themselves and their own culture. Today, teens are facing another pressure from society, which is to present a good image of themselves. Social media can create false images of people and their lives because they tend to only post the best parts. This makes people feel that they need to live up to this impossible standard. This image is relatable for many teens as it shows a girl stressed from her phone, which could have been a result of negative effects of social media, like comparing herself to others. People in society are getting addicted to their phones partly because of the need to keep up with their lives and other people's lives on social media. With social media usage increasing, it is changing the norms of society, like how people communicate and how people perceive themselves. The negatives, like the pressure it puts on teens, outweigh the positives that social media brings into society.
Following my colleagues, I'd like to talk about the current and past gender stereotypes that we've been faced with. So on the right, we have a picture of a corset that was commonly used throughout the 1800s, and what it did was it shrunk the internal organs and the stomach of a female and basically condensed it all together and crushed the ribs of a female to give them that perfect silhouette and hourglass body shape, which a lot of men back in the day really liked and really enjoyed seeing a woman looking like that, which was a terrible standard to be set because it ended up causing women to die at an earlier age. But on the left, we have the gender ideal body type of a man, and it is sort of it shows off the spectrum, I guess you could say, of the men. It's got the two heavier set men on the right, and then the skinnier man on the left. And in the middle, you got your average Joe, which is represented with a rectangle, and then the guy in the green shirt. These are just kind of, every guy wants to be like him. He's got the muscles, he's got the abs, he's got it all. He takes off his shirt at the beach and all the girls are running over to him thinking, wow, I want to be with him. Which is not a good thing for all the other guys out there, because when you have him, he's showing off that he's the ideal standard amongst men. He is what every guy should look like, ripped, absolutely shredded. And you see this all across media. You see this in movies. You see this on Instagram. You're seeing this on Snapchat stories. You're seeing this kind of guy everywhere. And this is just not the ideal body type of a man. This is not how every guy is going to look, because not everybody can look like that. Which leads me into the next point, which also is shown amongst young kids and young boys and girls. It is, so in a report by Jacqueline Howard from CNN, it says that throughout the introduction of images and media, throughout 1999 and 2006, hospitalization for eating disorders in U.S. spiked 119% among children under the age of 12. You have kids under the age of 12 that are going into the hospital and being hospitalized for eating disorders. That never used to happen, and it is absolutely crazy how the introduction of social media is just changing that for everybody. But then again, you have the introduction of social media, which is also benefiting society, which is leading to a better sort of future vision for everybody. So on this image on the left, you have a picture of Lizzo, who is a famous singer. She has quite a few songs in the top 100, and she got featured on the cover of Vogue, which is an absolutely astonishing achievement that in this day and age, you can have a plus-size model be featured on a magazine to show that there is more than one ideal body type, and there is more than one body type for women and for men. And on the right, it is a picture of multiple plus size models who are walking down a runway showing off that they can be just like skinnier women. They can show off their body, and there is not one specific perfect body because everybody likes something else. You can't have one specific ideal body, which is shown multiple times. And the first introduction of somebody who was a plus size model on a magazine was in 2015. Robin Lowry featured the first plus size model on a Sports Illustrated magazine, which showed her in a bikini showing off her amazing body and that she is just like everybody else. And there is more than one stereotype for people. There is more than one body type. Which leads me to my concluding statement. How will you help? How are you going to benefit our society? Are you going to take us back a couple generations with social media and keep using it to hurt other people and make people feel bad about themselves? Or are you going to make a change? Are you going to accept that there is different body types and people are different in every single way? They're not going to be exactly like your Zac Efron or your Anne Hathaway or your Scarlett Johansson. Any sex symbol, they're not going to be exactly like them. Everybody is different. So are you going to help the nation and our entire world and our society accept this? Or are you going to keep taking us back and you're going to keep suppressing these people and making them not feel like they are welcome in this world? Thank you.